too, coming back on this team. Did you say anything to Graham after the game? Been in similar-ish situations. What'd you say to him?
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of came back and talked to the whole offense. Like, our margin of error is pretty small. Just that's who we are as Wisconsin, and it's always going to be kind of a dogfight. But if we don't shoot ourselves in the foot, it's going to be a little bit easier, and it makes that margin a little bit easier to beat. So just keeping that confidence level up and making sure that everybody knows that we are able to win that game and win other games if we are clean on what we're trying to do.
I was going to say, Jake, how did you see, I mean, looking back on the film I was watching last night, Jack Eschenbach getting on the field and making some blocks too. Just, I know you've talked about him before the past couple of months, but even during the spring. But just, how do you feel he felt? How do you feel he did in that role and what he brought to the offense?
Yeah, I think he had a really good game. Being a young guy, kind of getting thrown into a Big Ten game like that for your first actual game is impressive, and the way he handled it was really, really impressive to me. And it just kind of shows how far he's come. As a walk-on, earning a scholarship, working in the offseason to get his body right, coming back almost 5-10 pounds heavier than I am, and just looking good. But that just shows his maturity and what he's willing to do for this program, for this team, for this offense. And I mean, that's definitely someone I would like to have in the tight end room, and like we like to have on the offense.
Jake, I apologize if you were asked this before it came over, but when you guys looked at the tape in the red zone, how many more points do you think should have been on the board?
Yeah, definitely hard to say. But I mean, I said earlier, just kind of playing two teams there, had a little bit of our feel that we were playing ourselves a little bit, shot ourselves in the foot. Definitely left some points up on the board there in the red zone. But that's kind of easy to say now after the fact. And I think it's just time that we just kind of look past that one and really focus on the small details, the little things, so we can come prepared and we know exactly what we're doing and when we're doing it.
What kind of untapped potential does this offense have?
I think we could be one of the best offenses we've seen here. But I mean, I said earlier, our margin of error is tiny. So we really do have to be focused on some of the small stuff. We got to execute. We got to meet maybe a little bit more. Just talk as a unit so we can execute on those plays in the red zone and when we really need it.
Are you changing up anything in the routine of getting ready for this week? What are you looking to focus on?
I mean, me personally, I actually finally took care of my body once before a game and after a game, so I feel pretty good right now, despite playing 95 plays. But I mean, yeah, I think just putting the blinders on and not focusing about that one is a really big one, and just making sure that we can focus on the little things and exception, just as a whole unit, as a tight end group, and as a receiving core, stuff like that.
I know it's nothing. I know it's something old, really new to you too, with being in front of fans and Camp Randall and in general. But still, to have them back, giving you that extra juice.
Sure.
Yeah, what's it like?
Yeah, I mean, it felt real again. I tried to tell some of those younger guys who haven't been in a full Camp Randall that it is real, and you'll feel it. And I mean, it's just like it was back in the old day, where I mean, you run out of the tunnel and you feel your chest get heavy. Nothing's better than that. And just being there for jump around, seeing a full Camp Randall jumping around again, that's a great feeling.
Playing in silence last year, just on the field, communication and stuff.
Yeah, it was tough for sure. I mean, you can tell when the sound's coming from a speaker, so that's definitely tough. But I mean, kind of don't really want to talk about that anymore. It's over with.
But just because I'm just wondering what some of the stuff playing with fans.
Yeah.
Communication,
I mean, yeah, they're loud. Yeah.
You mentioned margin for error in the offense. What makes you feel that way, and what areas do you feel where that margin error is smaller?
Right. I mean, turnovers one, but me personally, just little things, being able to recognize. I mean, there was one time where they brought up, like earlier in the week, that maybe they sometimes do drop a backside guy to cover the hole on pressure looks, and that's something I need to kind of remember. Maybe even watch a little more film or do something a little bit more, just little details where that fourth down where it got picked off, maybe I should pop it, but like I said, it's easier to say after the fact. But next time, I think this week, I really need to be focused, so when I do get that look, I need to say, hey, they might be dropping this guy. I can pop it and it'll be there. Maybe a different outcome, but
from your vantage point, when it comes to just like the passing game in general, and like with rhythm or being comfortable, is there a thing with the passing game in terms of hitting a rhythm in your eyes, and what could constitute that in your view?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I felt that we had a pretty good rhythm going that game. I mean, we were moving the ball really well. Our run game was hitting, our pass game was hitting on some parts. But yeah, I mean, 5 plays. We changed 5 plays, different score. Might be a way different score. But like I said, I mean, that's just shooting ourselves in the foot. Felt like we were playing 2 teams out there, and it's always tough to beat 2. So.
What's your sense of how Quinn responded to those games?
I think he's done well. I mean, he's gained a lot of maturity over this past year, and I think him just being able to come in yesterday, talk through some film, and coming in today with a new mindset of we're kind of letting that one go. And that's not us who we were back there. That doesn't define us. We're just really focusing, and we got to hone in on our craft and as an offense, as a receiving core, so we can execute on all those plays.
How fine is that line of not dwelling on last game, but also learning from it and moving on as quickly as possible?
Definitely. It's almost hard to look back at that one just because of how much that one stung and how much we kind of left out there. But I think it is important to kind of let it go because we are a really good offense, and I'm confident that we're a really good offense. So it's important not to look back and kind of dwell, and that will only make us worse if we kind of focus on that one. And if we just kind of let it go, focus on this week's prep, then I think we'll be pretty good.
Where's that confidence come from? Is that what you've seen from spring and fall, or?
Yeah, I think it's a culmination of things. Just what we did over the spring, just what we did, the depth we had at offense, the depth we had in the receiving core, some of the plays we were making in camp, stuff like that. Even just some of the stuff we had out there, we were moving the ball really well. Our run game was hitting. Some of the passes that we had, they were hitting really well. It was just a couple of plays that we fix up, and might be a different outcome there.
Could you describe what's it like playing in a night game at Camp Randall?
Yeah, I mean, my favorite part's when everybody holds up their flashlights and it's like almost like stars out there. But I'm looking forward to a Camp Randall night game. It was almost like it was night out there because how gloomy it was. But yeah, definitely looking forward to one of those. It's just good to have the camp full again. I know it wasn't our outcome, but it did feel real again, and it was good to have the fans back in that field back.